Social media continues to play a big part in our lives. Some states are making new steps to protect child influencers from exploitation.
Starting today, a new Illinois law will require family content creators to put a portion of their earnings into a blocked trust fund for their children if they're featured in the online videos. Michael Yoshida explains. Hey, Michael.
Hey, good afternoon, Courtney and Alex. And when we talk about family vlogging, it can be lucrative, but now some lawmakers and advocates are pushing for the law to catch up, providing protections similar to those of child actors.
Parents in Illinois now required to compensate child influencers.
Childhood is now, in ways that we've never seen before, being commoditized.
Many family vloggers post multiple videos a month, and even though kids may be a big feature in the monetized clips, parents had no legal obligation to give their children any portion of earnings. That's now changed. Illinois' new law sets rules for how and when parents must set aside a percentage of money made from content creation where a child is featured, which they can access when they turn 18.
Sometimes it's the only source of income for a family, and I think that really complicates the parent-child, employer-employee relationships that we deal with.
Illinois' law is modeled off California's Coogan Act from the 1930s, which was inspired by a child actor who saw his money swindled away by his parents. Following Illinois' lead, other states have enacted and proposed similar bills, including California.
Set some standards about what kind of burden are we putting on parents and content creators that are reasonable and appropriate to protect against exploitation.
Advocates say financial protections are a good start, but more work is needed.
It's really the same fight in a slightly different form as the fight to impose child labor laws. How do we make sure that children have a safe and healthy childhood when everywhere they go, there is money to be made in exploiting one part or another about them?
In Washington, I'm Michael Yoshida reporting.
And again, those we spoke with say their hope is that as more states introduce legislation and focus on this issue, eventually the federal government will take a look as well. Alex, Courtney.
All right, thanks, Michael. This is really interesting. And beyond financial compensation, what are some of the other things advocates are fighting for?
So limits on hours worked is another focus. In Georgia this year, they introduced some legislation that had that financial compensation aspect similar to the Illinois law, but also looked at a breakdown, say if the child's a few months old, a few years old, maybe only working a certain 20, 30 minutes a day, versus if they're in their teens, maybe being able to work a few hours a day for these videos. Other states also looking at a right to delete, so that once they reach a certain age, maybe 13 or 18 in some of the different bills we've seen states introduce, they then can reach out to those social media companies and request that those videos be deleted. A lot of different approaches here, a lot of different challenges. Some states trying to do all of these, some trying to do one at a time. So again, we're just going to have to wait and see how each state and maybe eventually the federal government try to approach this issue.
Interesting time indeed, Michael. Thank you.